I'm Jim Dexter. I'm the district superintendent from the Washington, Saratoga, Warren, Hamilton, Essex, BOCES, and Tony was with us last year.
Yeah, Tony Muller. I'm the assistant superintendent at the Washington, Saratoga, Warren, Hamilton, Essex, BOCES.
Awesome.
And I'm Nancy DeStefano. I'm the director of instructional programs at the same BOCES.
Cool. I'm just saying, hey, we're using this mic for the same. Turned off.
Okay. And we are located slightly north of Albany, New York, about 150 miles north of New York City, in a lovely area of New York State, Lake George, Saratoga Springs.
Awesome.
And actually, since you're national, I kind of realized going through some of the workshops, a BOCES in New York State is a Board of Cooperative Educational Services, and we are an organization, a service agency that brings together districts and share services and programs to make it more cost effective and actually higher quality programs, things that they wouldn't be able to do on their own, doing it in isolation. So that's what a BOCES is, what it stands for.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I would have forgotten that last year. You know, we work in Arkansas, so it's cooperatives. So, you know,
Every state
different.
calls it
Something a little different. Okay, so right off the bat, tell us what you're here for this year. Are you doing these sessions?
We are, and that's what we want to talk a little bit
Awesome.
about. I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to kind of get out of the way and let Tony and Nancy more talk about the program. But we have, several years ago, we had an alternative education program, and because of fiscal times and really some of the outcomes, we decided to discontinue it. But the needs for some of those students continued. And we have about 31 school districts in the area, about 40,000 school children, and there's still a number of kids who need alternative programming.
Sure.
And we really spent some time figuring out if we were going to have an alternative program, what would it look like, and what were the outcomes that we'd want to achieve. Mm-hmm. Similar to last year, we talked about building our program for early college, high school backwards. Well, if it was the same thing, what would the outcomes be? And one of the problems in New York, and it's probably not unique to other states, is the regulations that are in place sometimes doesn't allow you to be overly alternative. So, you know, just putting kids in a different building, just calling it something different doesn't make it something different.
Right.
And so there were some regulatory changes in New York, not important to detail here, that made it a little bit better for us to actually get integrated credit in certain areas in the form of career and technical education. So we have a large career and technical education program. We wanted to know, you know, our kids, these are general ed kids, and they do thrive to be in a work-based or a program with a career and technical education base. And when the regs changed, it really allowed us to do that, and then to do some behavioral management programs that we use in some of our special education programs, and try to really make it a little bit more alternative. And so that's what we're here to talk about. It's our year 2 of our, what we call our STEP program, and we have 9th and 10th graders. Last year we started with 9th graders, with the idea of giving kids a spot where they could earn, really learn appropriate social and behaviors in classroom in a structured setting, but also giving them career and technical education outcomes. Yeah. So Nancy oversees all of our instructional programs, but has been really significantly involved in the development of this program, and of course Tony was there. We all started it right from the beginning, so I thought it might be nice just for them to talk a little bit about what this program is and some of the challenges and successes we've had.
Okay, cool.
So we started the program last year with just 9th grade, and the 3 key factors, I think, to this program are, 1, the academics that we provide the kids that prepare them for their high school diploma, 2, the integration of our career and technical education pieces that we give them. Not only do they get career and tech ed exposure to a variety of programs, but they also have math and science integrated into their career and tech ed classes that gives them additional credits beyond the standalone academics that we do. And then the third piece that's really significant is the social behavior that we teach them. And we use the Boys Town Classroom Management Program. It's a program out of Nebraska, and it teaches them the social skills and strategies that they need, starting right with accepting feedback, following directions, very basic things, but things that we need to reinforce with them and help them for when they do acclimate back into their school district, which is intended for them to do in 11th and 12th grade. So really right now the program is intended to be for 2 years. We have our first first year of 10th graders, which were our 9th graders last year, and we have our second group of 9th graders this year. We have about 45 students total in the program, so not too bad. We've got about 21 10th graders. We're getting up to about 23 9th graders, so we're doing pretty good as far as enrollment. It's been highly successful with the districts as far as meeting the needs of those kids that just don't want to go to school in their home districts. We've done a lot of research on their attendance as well, and we've got significantly improved attendance from them. A lot of these kids in their 8th grade classes in 8th grade school year were missing 80, 90, 120 days even of school out of 180 day school year. They might miss so far 4 days, maybe 10 days. I think we've got a couple kids that are at 20, but still huge difference in attendance.
That alone in attendance, and increasing attendance, that's worth the program right there, right? I mean, that's why the problem that they have is they've missed school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with all of that attendance that they have missed in the past, they've got significant learning gaps too, and significant skill gaps. So one of the things that we really have heavily incorporated into it is a lot of academic intervention to help them get up to grade level. We had several kids last year that were tested beginning levels in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade as 9th graders. But by the end of the year, they had jumped to maybe 7th or 8th grade.
Wow.
So not quite on grade level, but still significant improvements in their ability to function academically within the classroom. I think one of the key components to all of this is the staff that we have too. Takes a special person to work with students who are alternative students that have behavior issues and that have resistance to learning. And we've got an incredible staff that works really well with those students. They meet every day at the end of the day, and they problem solve what's to come for tomorrow. They talk about the challenges that each student had that day and how are they going to greet that student the next morning to set the tone for a positive day. And that is huge and critical in making this whole piece a success as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense. 21 and 24. That's a good number to make sure that you can give that intervention at that level. I mean, you've got to keep it small like that so that your staff can keep that intervention, direct and positive daily. That's a really
yes, and
great
so
idea.
much of the instruction is individual because every student is at a very different academic level. So much of their academic instruction is really individualized to their individual needs to help get them the training and education that they need.
So, I'm wrapping my brain around this. So these students are all from different districts.
Yes, they are.
And do they all come to one location?
They come to
then?
one location.
Okay.
Last year we started the program with students from 11 different districts. This year we now have 14 of our 31 districts that are part of our regional area that are participating. So we're close to 50% of our districts participating in this program.
In alternative education, I think that might be, you fixed one of the biggest problems, a school district, my school district, we keep it in-house so that peer group is never broken up. Breaking up a peer group is a good thing. Kids get to walk in and see new faces, get to start a new slate.
It's a fresh start.
It's a fresh start. And it's hard for individual school districts because the same kids see the same kids. So I was in ISD with you, or I was in after school. It's one of those things that, it's the same group of people. That's probably a really big factor also in the success.
Part of our Boys Town management system is to not send the kids home when they misbehave. A big key to that is reteaching them the appropriate behavior. So they were quite surprised when they first started the program when we weren't sending them home when they were misbehaving.
Yeah.
So that quickly changed the behaviors as well because they weren't getting to go home. The key piece, though, that really brings them in every day, I think, is the career and technical education. And we learned very quickly, we had set up the schedule so they were getting a half day of career and technical education and half day of academics. It took us about 3 days of the new program last year to realize that wasn't going to work. We needed to shorten that period of career and tech ed and give it to them more frequently during the day because that's what they were really interested in. So we did that, and the team was great about making those schedule adjustments, and it improved behaviors throughout the day because they wanted to get to that next career and technical experience.
Right. Yeah.
And we introduced them to things like culinary arts, We did health and careers. We did educational careers and early childhood. We also had them do building trades and construction, a little bit of electrical experience. So they got a smattering of a lot of different things. And it's helping them as far as exposing them to career and tech ed programs that they can take for half day as juniors and seniors, but it's also the things that they're the most interested in that they really enjoy.
Right.
Well, culinary was a natural for alternative ed kids. They like to eat.
Yeah.
And some of them
Hey, you know what?
get a lot of great.
Well, true, sure.
So who doesn't like to eat? But we also wanted
we didn't get this way jogging.
to the greatest extent possible. We also wanted to have programs that, like Nancy said, we did do some. We were able to look at several different programs, but we kept always thinking though. We certainly want to make sure with these kids that they ended up in a program that could lead to a paying career. Logically,
right.
You know, these kids are not college kids, and they're not going to go to. They're likely not to go to a tech center, diesel mechanics in Ohio or something like that. And so we wanted to make sure if they were going to get a trade or a skill, that it was something that they could actually get employment in, and maybe some work-based learning as they get a little bit older too.
You know, much like the beginning of the 20th century, the 21st century is where we're rebuilding the infrastructure of this country. And these are the students that, work with their hands and need to be busy and want to be busy. That makes them happy. And
these kids are good workers.
And that's the key.
And they show up.
That's why.
That's the thing. They need to learn how to show up to work.
Right.
But they're good workers.
But these are kids that need something to validate for showing up, and you're making that possible, and just prepping them for going to work right after it, and being good citizens. That's what.
Well, and I think it's very important. One of the things that you brought up was that, as part of the CTE curriculum that you're doing, they're being exposed to multiple things. So maybe I hate plumbing, just for the sake of picking something out. I can't stand working with that. And yes, I know that's what I have to do in. Again, I'm not familiar with the program, but I hate doing that in third period. But I know in fifth period, I'm going to get to cook something. So I'll put these stupid pipes together and I'll make the water flow. And then I have to take my English course or my math course or whatever. But then I know I'm going to get to make some killer souffle or whatever it is I'm making in that program.
Get that risotto right, because I understand
that's right. The risotto. Well, you're not going to do that in 10 minutes. I've seen Food Network. It doesn't happen. No, but I think it's very important that and key probably that they're being exposed to many different things. Yes. We actually had a conversation a little earlier, and we were talking about that thing where the old school way of thinking was by the time you got to especially 9th and 10th grade, you pretty much had to know what you wanted to do, quote unquote, for the rest of your life. Who in 10th grade knows what they want to do for the rest of their life? Or how many of us are doing what we thought we were going to do? But that's the way we were programmed. And now with programs like this and hopefully as other programs kind of, as other districts and programs kind of wake up to the idea that students, life is way different now than it was, as we were growing up. We could pretty much have a career, and we could, for the most part, pretty well stay with whatever we went into. If we wanted to, we could pretty much have that for the rest of our lives. That's just not the way it works now. We used to be, interview questions, right? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Today, you ask a kid that, and they're like, I don't know, 5 jobs down the road because I like doing this for a while and I like doing that for a while, and but I think one of the other key things, and then I'll shut up and let you talk. But I think one of the key things that you talked about were some of those social skills that, frankly, not just the students who are in alternative ed. I think, frankly, a lot of students are missing, and this has kind of been the topic of the day, is civility and citizenship. The feedback. How do I get feedback? Yes, I'm going to protest whatever it is I'm protesting, but then this person across the street is protesting the opposite of what I am, and I'm going to throw rocks at them. No, that's not the way this works. How do you have that open dialogue of, you have an opinion, I have an opinion, they differ, but guess what? At the end of the day, we can still shake hands, get along, and hey, let's go, grab some of that food we're making in 8th period.
And what we do is really integrated very fluidly within all of the academics. All of the teachers go through a 5-day training in order to implement Boys Town, and then it's a practice of integrating that right into the the whole instructional process, whether it's career and tech ed that they're in, or whether it's an academic like ELA or math. It's integrated right into that whole educational process, and it's all very fluid, and the students, it's just part of everything that they do in all aspects of the day. So it becomes a very integrated part.
I'm excited that you're in a year and a half right now, and the data's got you back here to let everybody know this is where we are, and then this time next year, 2.5 years of data. You know how we love data, because that's going to really help bolster the fact that this is working for us and this is the program. So where is this? Are you guys going to put this together as a package to then share with the rest of the country, rest of the world?
Well, we're certainly going to present that, and we do think, tomorrow, I don't know the answer to that exactly.
Sure.
Certainly our goal was there's a certain number of kids who needed something different. And to your point, data, we always build all of our programs from outcomes. We always build all of our programs. We always say, if we were going to have an alternative program, what are the things we'd want? And that's where and what were the outcomes we want to achieve? And that's how we did that. That's how the program we talked about last year, the Early College Career Academy, which continues to grow, Early College High School, we did the same. And so to your point, what's the data going to tell us? And is the data going to say that we're successful? We hope. And based on a number of returning kids and based on the attendance and some of the improvements we've seen academically, but there's still a lot more hurdles to go.
Sure.
But I will say, as far as one issue with this program is it's hard to scale because it's very labor intensive. We don't just stick these kids in, because we have a very large CTE program, 1,100, 1,200 kids, and we have adults. But this is hard to scale because you really can't put a kid in a class of 30 culinary arts, right?
Right.
Like you could,
Right.
it's got to be 12 or 15 kids,
Right?
Because you're teaching the behavioral skills, and we do the academic integration. Some of the integration is, these kids don't have strong skills, so you're coming from a long way. But our always thing: are we ever cracking the code? Are we making a difference that is just beyond just a couple kids? Systemically, is it making some sort of a difference? And that's what we're hoping for. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be in a position to offer more, and we're always starting to learn from what other folks do. But
Sure.
But there's not a lot of models out there that alternative ed, at least in New York, is truly alternative.
And our goal for in the spring is working out the transition so that when they go into 11th
Right.
grade, that they'll be half day. They have the opportunity to be half day in a career and technical education program, one of the exploratory areas that they've had an opportunity to see over the first 2 years, and hopefully transition the other half day back into their home school and see if they can fit and how that's going to work. And then we'll have to make adjustments based on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So your follow-up program that's coming next
Right.
year. So to put that in place,
Right, and they'll still be half with us, and I think some of the districts have requested they wanted to still be full day with us, but there's a lot of value in trying to get them back into their home schools for half a day, and then stay with us for the other half of that career development.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem is some of these kids have burned their bridges in
Right.
their former schools, and the schools even recognize that, saying, is this kid going to be able to come back in and really?
Right.
Sometimes just going back can be difficult. So those are, Tony said, these kind of some next challenges.
Well,
And the kids are comfortable with the small environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
This is a good place for them, and
Right.
it's a safe place for them.
Sure.
So,
And it's the
there's
21st
that-
century. We should be able to provide that. I mean,
Right.
that's this is the United States of America. We can't do it, then it can't be done. And
Well-
it's the 21st century. We have a lot of people that want to teach,
Right.
and we have a lot of kids that need that small area. So you guys are on the right track.
One thing we know for sure is these are 40-something kids right now that were destined to be dropouts. There's no real doubt about it.
Right.
And so if we feel like if we can get them to be able to successfully be in our regular current technical education program, that they'll have a chance.
Right. Yeah.
And the districts, in all fairness, will say to that, because in New York, because of some regs, it's hard for us to do 9 through 12 current technical education, which I think we'd like to be there at some point in time, but we're just not there in New York. But I think of what that many kids means to the economy, not just their lives, but the economy, that they do graduate, and particularly if they have some hard skills, So I know there's other people doing some fine work, but it's an opportunity for us to contribute a little bit. happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, in my opinion, you're doing fine work also. I think the fun part for you guys is the Christmas morning of a few years down the road, like next year when you have those 11th graders going out, to see if they can integrate. And then, 3 to 5 more years from now, when you get to open those presents, which is all the data you've now built to find out, okay, where are we going from here? That's a great Christmas morning to look forward to.
And we just have recently had that experience with our first couple graduating classes from our early college career, their high school, and seeing that it actually works and they are getting accepted. Matter of fact, colleges are like, we want more, they really like these kids, and plus they have the, almost 30 college credits, some have more, and plus, in a hard technical skill, and we even know that some of the local employers have started to hire these kids because they can finish their associates in like 1 year. This is, and so to your point, it really is pleasant to see that. It makes you want to work harder and get it better, knowing that you're getting some outcomes for the kids.
I'm very interested to see how the reintegration of some of the students goes, because of, as you mentioned, some of the students probably really have burned several bridges, which is why they ended up in your program.
World War II.
But not just that, even if there weren't bridges that were burned, whatever socioeconomic situation that they were in with their particular, their particular clique, their particular group of friends, from then, hopefully they have changed from who they were, but then when they get back in that environment, what, how
We
does
don't
that
want to see that
impact
regression.
them? Right,
Right.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And possibly be a peer influence when it shows back up.
So it'll be very interesting to watch that dynamic as well. So
I'm excited for you guys.
I think it's very cool. It
I'm excited
sounds
you're
very
back
good.
here to just keep following up and let all the other educational service centers know. Listen, this is going good for us. You might need to take a look at this.
Well, one of the things that's exciting for us is that as an educational service agency, our school districts come to us and say, we'd like you to help us find a solution to this problem.
Right.
And we feel that that's a good and healthy sign of the service that we try to provide.
Yeah.
So we don't take that for granted by any means, but it's exciting to build program too.
Yes.
Nerve-wracking and exciting. You don't want to get it wrong. Getting it wrong would really be
Right.
bad.
No, well, that's right.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, you're doing the right thing. As long as the phone keeps ringing, you're doing the right thing. Hey, anything else you guys want to share?
You want to just update them on Early College Career Academy? Last year we talked about it. We were in year 2. We had the advanced manufacturing, early college, high school. Students go on campus. We train them in advanced manufacturing. Then we went to IT technology, to the Cisco Academy, 30 college credits, and then maybe talk a little bit about what we did this year and where we're going next year.
So this year we started a new media program. So we had 2 sections. So we actually have 39 students that came into a new media program as a third pathway for Early College Career Academy. And over the last year, we were working with the college and the school districts to start a business and entrepreneurial program.
Oh,
so
nice.
next fall, we're actually starting a business and entrepreneurial program as well. So we'll have 4 early college high school programs. We titled them Early College Career Academy. Students are on college campus half day, just as a kind of reminder from last year. So they go to the college campus for a half day. We have CTE classes as well as college classes, and our students are graduating with anywhere from 24 to 32 credits. We have a couple of students that take advantage of opportunities at the school districts, and they graduate with almost 40 college credits after the 2 years of high school before they even graduate high school.
And then there's a significant work-based learning piece. So all the skills, and so we have really terrific business partners. For us, we have SB Manufacturing, which is mostly for example, they do a lot of military-grade manufacturing in the Saratoga Springs. Global Foundries was a chip fab maker. Irving Tissue, which is paper. A lot of paper companies up at Glens Falls.
Angiodynamics does medical.
Angiodynamics, which is a healthcare provider. They are all over this program, and they're great partners. And we're very. The kids do challenges from the business and industry partners, Philips Healthcare. And we have several IT partners, and East Associates, Cisco. They really see the value of these programs, and they're willing to put time and effort. We We have a P-Tech program, which feeds 9th and 10th graders into that program, which is really exciting as well. We have about 165 P-Tech kids.
Right.
They all don't continue, but it's a great. But we get but a good number of them do.
Right.
So the idea is the P-Tech kids can go into the 11th and 12th grade program.
Right, advanced manufacturing or IT networking, but that speaks to also what's nice about it is it's exploratory as well. So students come in 9th grade, but you can't really, how many 9th graders really know what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Right,
So it gives them an opportunity to have some of these experiences and then change their mind as they go through the programs.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited that you're getting 30 and 40 hours, across the board of credit hours. That means, I'm halfway through an associate degree.
Right.
I'm into my sophomore year of a 4-year university degree if I so choose to do it. That's monetarily for parents alone,
Right.
and
hear
those
that.
students.
We hear that.
You're saving them,
We hear that from the kids too.
Yeah.
From the kids who are kids are very conscious of their parents' ability
Right,
to
and for those kids that are paying for their own school, that's a really big deal, and that's a lot of motivation to go through the programs and say, listen, I've got to get through this. I'm going to leave high school as a sophomore in college. Well, that's beautiful. There's nothing like that.
It's interesting too because we did not design this program. We have some, but we did not design this program for the highest level achievers.
Right.
Because our connections with this program with the community college, and our goal was to get those kids who maybe aren't career and technical edge kid, maybe they're not in an IP or an AP career path or pathway, but these might be the kids who go to 2-year college but might not make it, or go to 4-year college and might not make it as a general liberal arts, and here they're getting a technical skill. It's hard to overclassify the kids, but the interesting thing is we've had some kids who really have done remarkably well, and find it's always interesting because a lot of them will say we're going to some form of engineering, and they would have said I would have never dreamed that I would go to some form of engineering. They just they just couldn't have conceived it.
And we've started to see the success of the different pathways too, because the pathways, the options that they have after the program, the world of work, the 2-year degree and finish, or go into a 4-year school, and we've had successes, students going into all 3 pathways. Students being offered jobs with companies right out of high school to start right away because they've got their
companies want to pitch our kids. They're we talk to your kids, and they've been good partners, so we let them. But they're like, we want to offer them employment.
So do you guys do a show off, say, if a group wanted to travel and see the program happening?
We get that happen sometimes. Yeah, we've had quite a few people come in.
Yeah, because I can see several of these organizations and even some large school districts that might do their own want to come see this happening and be part of walking around for a day or two.
Yeah, we've had quite a few folks in. And the kids are used to it. And that was part of the program for us. And when we did our backwards design, we wanted the kids to feel a little bit of a fishbowl effect, and we wanted them to be comfortable presenting. And because actually one of the college courses we teach in, I don't know if it's all the programs, Tony, but college, so public speaking, because it's all project based. Everything, not everything, but a lot of it's done in a team. So in IT technology, you might say, here's your company, you need to build your network, design it, price it, pitch it. Business and entrepreneurship is going to be a little bit of a Shark Tank thing as well. And obviously the idea of how do you teach entrepreneurship? Well, one of the ideas is kids will hopefully actually have a business that they will be designing, running during it, or maybe afterwards, actually doing. And we're not looking for a textbook, this is entrepreneurship, turn the page. It just doesn't make sense to us and how we do things. And so we have some really amazing support people who work for us, who really make us look good. But I think we're really starting to crack the code a little bit on that. And we hear it from the parents, and we hear kids who say, these kids weren't behavioral problems, but some of them were unengaged. And they say, when I came here, I was not engaged in my learning. I never understood, those kids who are like, the kids who do well are some of those kids who are like, why do I go to school? Why do I need to know this? Why do I need to know this?
And students coming back and telling us that they were the 65, 75 average student in high school, and now that because of this program, they're doing well in this program, but the courses that they're taking back to the high school now, they're 80, 90 average students because they're making the connections and they want to be there and they want to be able to continue.
There's the biggest key. You're teaching them how to apply themselves.
Right.
And that's
how this makes sense in the real world.
And some people, it might take half their life before they figure that out. And that's our goal, is to help those kids figure that out. Oh, this is what pay my dues, work hard, and this is what's going to happen. Yeah, that's really awesome.
That is awesome.
Well,
Very cool.
We want to thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you.
So tomorrow, tell us about your session. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 10:45.
Okay.
We're going to be presenting on the alternative education program and showing a lot of data and everything that we've collected to prove and help support the efforts that we have in that program.
Awesome.
And talk about the things we're doing.
I'm pretty sure it's going to go great for you. And after it's done, if the chair's open and you want to stop by and you're excited and you want to say,
Okay.
listen, this happened during the session, because you know how you feel when you finish a good session and you feel like you've reached some folks and helped them have those aha moments, please stop by and tell us about it.
Great, thank you.
We'd love
And
to
if we
hear
get to do this again next year, we want you back again next year for another follow-up. We're going to make this an annual event right here.
You guys may have to come and see us some point in time.
Yes,
That's all.
absolutely. That
Call
would
around
be
to us.
awesome.
We'd love to come up and stay a
That
day or
would be
two.
cool.
We'd love to talk to the kids about YouTubing and podcasting, and this is entrepreneurship in itself.
Right.
Think of the kids doing YouTube and video and audio and news and everything. I mean, it's all about writing. Right. It's all about public speaking.
Communication.
It's a fun, and there's a lot of kids that this might engage them. They go, "Oh, that's what I want to do."
Yeah, no, I think there would be.
Yeah.
Well, before you guys take off, we do have parting gifts for you. So there you go.
You get a special
Everybody
button.
gets a special.
You've been
limited
interviewed by the
edition button.
Tech Guys.
That's right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you guys very much for coming back. and
Thank you.
seeing us.
We'll see you again next year.
We'll see you.
bet.
Awesome. Man.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
And if there's anyone out there who runs programs, we're always interested in learning from others. So
Yes.
Yes. Oh, which that actually reminds me. What's a good way for folks to reach out to you?
well, certainly we have lots of different forms of communication, but basically if you went to the WSWHE-BOCES.org website, you'd find contact information
Okay.
for any of us.
That'll work then.
WSWHEBOCES.org.
Okay.
Awesome.